In our community, a lot of people, they don't realize the power of credit until they're trying to get a car, apartment, they're trying to get a house.
A lot of people think that the credit has to be perfect to be able to get business funding, when in reality, that's not necessarily the case.
So essentially teaching people how to be able to help other people get funding for their business.
Yep. It's a lot of people that watch this stuff and they're not able to, they get the game, they know what banks to go to, they might have bank reps, they might have the whole spiel down, but they're not getting clients. Why not run up a bag being the middleman? Like the wealthiest people, the largest companies in the US, they control everything, but they own nothing. You know, what I learned from experience is like, I really bumped my head, went through injuries, went through so many things with like pursuing football. But I felt like it wasn't really my purpose and what God really wanted me to do. And that's why it didn't work out. So
have a similarity to your story as well. It's like, you know, at one point I was working at FedEx for a good amount of time, left the job for about a good year. Things, you know, fell off. Had to go back to FedEx.
Man,
and that kind of work is not no easy work.
Man,
hot summers, cold, freezing winters, and the springs usually be decent.
Having a funding company, like what was like your biggest month?
my biggest month was March of this year. We did 285,000 in revenue.
One of the problems that you said a lot of business owners have is they don't know how to market. What's some of the strategies on how a person can now start a funding business and make money part-time, make 6 figures on a part-time? Like, how are they gonna start getting these clients?
This is one of the game that I give out. First things first, you want to make sure you...
All right, guys. So before we jump into the episode, just want to make a big announcement. We just launched the Motion and Success community, guys. So in this community, we're going to be giving you the game on content. Basically, how to grow your profile from 0 to 100K in under a year, as well as how to make money online, getting leads for your business, more customers, more money.
Also, for the Motion and Success podcast, one of the things that I realized, we're attracting a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, and people that are just starting up their business and they're looking to start growing their business and scaling. One of the key factors to growing a business is by borrowing capital. So now when you're going out to certain banks, there's certain things that you need to do to be able to get funding for your business, to be able to start, grow, and scale what you got going on and take things to the moon. So if you're looking to go out and start growing and scaling your business like a lot of our guests has been doing, I'm going to teach you how to go out and get access to capital, access to credit cards, lines of credit, loans, things of that nature, so that way you can start growing your business. Sometimes you might just need an extra 50,000. Sometimes it might be 100,000. But listen, check us out inside the community. Go ahead and click the link down below and book a call with us. And I'm going to see you guys inside the community. Enjoy the rest of the episode. All right, y'all. So welcome back to another episode of Motion and Success. Listen, guys, my name is Cody Brown and I got my co-host with me today.
It's Ayo, and bro, we coming back with another great episode, y'all. We got a really special guest today, another piece of educational and getting money content. So y'all gonna learn a lot today. Today we got Basil.
Basil.
We got Basil coming from Dallas, Texas, y'all. So, bro, just give them a little bit of a backstory on you. Tell them a little bit about you. And it's not your first time out here in New York, right?
Nah, man. It's hopefully this will be better than the last time I was in New York fighting with my lady and shit, bro. But yeah, so my name is Basil. Like I said, my name is Basil. I go by Billionaire Bays on all social media platforms. So coming all the way from Dallas, bro, we about to go crazy.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you for coming out here.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, stopping in with the Motion and Success team. This is definitely going to be one of them ones.
Hell yeah.
We're going to be talking about the funding game, the lifestyle, all of that good stuff. So, honestly and truth, you watching this episode, stay to the end because it's going to get spooky. It's definitely going to be very insightful. So, yeah, bro, just tell us a little bit about yourself, man. I know you said you started off in you was doing professional football.
Yeah, so business or life? Should I go business or life?
Life.
Okay. So I'll go life. I'll go back a little bit, man. Like a lot of people of color, bro. I grew up thinking that you know, rapping or playing sports was gonna be, you know, the way to make it. And shit, unfortunately for me, I couldn't rap, so I pursued football. So I ended up going to college to play football. You know, had the only goal of making it to the league, and I was able to do that. I ended up making it to the league, getting picked up by the Cowboys, bounced around a couple of practice squads, played in the Canadian Football League as well. And, you know, I wasn't making no money, you know, and at some point you got to drop them nuts and figure something out. You know, you sleeping on grandma's couch and she like, you look good, but you eating up all my groceries. So, you know, they was like, athletes do well with sales. So I ended up getting into sales, and bro, life wasn't lifing and the money wasn't money. And so, you know, I had learned about credit after I had messed it up, like a lot of us do. And so I was hustling, saving up my money, doing a bunch of different things, using my money to start these businesses. And you know, one day I end up just kind of having this epiphany, like, man, like I got to just chill for a bit and like let me really lock in, nerd out on this credit stuff. I listen to a lot of Money Man. I think he might be from New York. I'm not sure, but I listen to a lot of Money Man. He be talking about money glitches and the credit and the LLC and all that. So, yeah, bro, I really just locked in, you know, on fixing my credit, getting funded, and I was documenting the process, bro. And fast forward to today, you know, we ended up turning into a legit business. Last year was my first kind of half year in business. We did $1 million in business, which is crazy to say considering I come from nothing, you know what I'm saying? No lights, cold water. So, and yeah, you know, so we funded over 20 million myself personally. And then with the people in my coaching program, we funded 75 million altogether. So it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing to be here for sure.
Wow. Definitely do sound like a blessing, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I do want to ask you too, because you say you was a pro athlete, but you know you was sleeping on the couch. You know, so how did that happen? I'm thinking everybody that gets to the NFL, you know, you making some money. Like,
man, let me tell you, don't let the blue check and the 10K followers fool you, bro. It's good for the clout, but when it come down to like actually living a life, bro, not everybody that's pursuing that or in the mix of that stuff is getting paid, bro. It's like you either are on the active roster, on the practice squad, which I was for a little bit, you know, back when I was doing it. I think we were getting like $4,800 a week. Now it's like $10K a week, but you know, we was hustling, playing in the XFL, the USFL, you know, really trying to make these dreams come true, bro, and really just exhausting it. And that just kind of makes me think, you know, it's just kind of one of those things. It's like when you're not walking in your purpose and you're trying to do something that God is not calling you to do, it's a steep mountain to climb. It's hard to make it for sure. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you picked up that sales job, like what kind of sales, like what products was you selling?
So I actually got into sales with AT&T. So I actually got into sales with AT&T. Let me backtrack a little bit. So while I was pursuing the football stuff, I was working for UPS, FedEx, Discount Tire, trying to make my dreams come true and shit, really getting it out the mud, bro. You know, really getting it out the mud. I had a degree, but I was locked in on my vision of making it to the league. And so when that didn't really pan out, you know, I was depressed, you know, really trying to figure it out. So they're like, athletes do well with sales. So I ended up joining AT&T's, you know, sales development program. Graduated first in that, went crazy, had the global job, corporate job. I had all the NFL accounts. I had Nike, Tesla, Apple, Disney. And this is the part about entrepreneurship people don't talk about, bro. I actually started an Airbnb business while I was working my 9-to-5, and I ended up leaving that 9-to-5, and that Airbnb shit didn't work out, so I had to go back to the 9-to-5, bro. That's the part that people don't talk about. It ain't always like straight to the millions. It's like sometimes success is like so
up down.
I appreciate that transparency because you're right. A lot of people, they don't talk too much about the losses, having to go back to the 9-to-5. They kind of like keep that to themselves, but you know that's a part of the journey and the story. So at this point, like, you know, you was in sales. Did you have bad credit at a certain point?
Man, bro, so I never had good credit, to be honest with you. I had bad credit longer than I've had good credit, bro. So like I said, you know, anything that they probably would have let my mom put in my name, she did. Light bill, phone bill, gas bill, cable,
everything.
And so, you know, it took a while to like clean all of that stuff off and start to make it to the point that I'm at now. But, you know, really just had tapped into some mentorships and really wasn't executing on the information. And I was like, man, this stuff is a scam, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't working. And, you know, this God moment happened where I finally sent out some dispute letters and a bunch of shit came off my credit. It's like, damn, the work works, right? Like, which a lot of people don't realize. So, yeah, I done had bad credit way longer than I done had good credit. So it's definitely a blessing to be on this side of the table, bro. And you know, it makes me think about the compound effect a lot, bro, because, you know, I think about those failures, I think about those losses, and it's like a lot of times we want to label that stuff as losses, but it's like you never know how those things that you went through, you know, can help you be successful today. So, you know, that discipline, that dog in me from playing sports and having to compete is stuff that I apply to business, and shit, that's why I've been able to just excel so fast. You know, be able to leave my 9-to-5 again for the second time, you know, make $1 million my first year in business. You know, I live in a penthouse in Dallas. I just bought a Lambo. So, You know, shit ain't too bad. You know, we getting there. We getting there. We getting there.
That's dope.
Yeah, we
man.
getting there.
That's definitely dope, bro. And I could kind of like, you know, have a similarity to your story as well. It's like, you know, at one point I was working at FedEx for a good amount of time, you know, left the job for about a good year. Things, you know, fell off. Had to go back to FedEx.
Man, bro.
And that kind of work is not no easy work.
Man,
you know
I'm
what I
telling you,
mean?
bro. I'm telling
Hot
you, bro.
summers, cold, freezing winters. And the springs usually be decent. Them heavy, chewy boxes, all of that
Peak
stuff.
season.
Yes, bro.
Man,
So
bro.
I know exactly how it is. But to hear your story, to you know, go from you know, leaving the job, excelling in the business, and then having to go back to the job and leaving, fast forward to making your first $1 million is definitely impressive, bro.
Yeah.
So what was the switch for you? You know, after that second time around, like what worked and what did you realize? You know, you did this time around that actually made sense and, you know, made everything click for you.
Man, you know, and it's so funny, bro. A lot of people overcomplicate this, bro, but I still don't even I don't understand how niggas have bad credit in 2025 or aren't making money, bro. Cuz I think for me, like, the biggest thing was like I just decided to finally lock in and clean my credit, bro. A lot of people, you know, that are working 9 to 5s, they looking for an escape on the weekends, but I really kind of decided to nerd out, and I just really wasn't making enough money for me to really be lit and outside and turn. So I think kind of the switch is like I made these promises to my mom, to my grandma, that I was gonna make it to the NFL and buy a house and do these things, and having a girl now, and it's like, you know what I'm saying, she looking at me like, girls is expensive, bro. I don't care how bad your shorty is. Them girls is expensive, bro. And I think that switch kind of just came throughout that time of like, bro, I got to do something because the money is not moneying, bro. And so really locked in, you know, clean my credit and got funding for myself. And so I believe that's what really changed the game, because, you know, most businesses, I think they say 3 or 4 out of, you know, 5 businesses fail, you know, due to lack of capital. So it's like, if you don't have the resources to scale, then you likely working in the business and not on the business. So, and when you working in the business, I mean, you can only make so much money in a day. And it's tasks that you have to do in a business that don't make money. And if you're the CEO and the owner that's doing those tasks, then you losing money for the business. Like,
Right.
So you mentioned getting funding for yourself, and I'm sitting here like, how the hell did you get funding for yourself starting off? What type of information did you get to go out and, you know, because a lot of people, you know, they try to go get funding and they never really, like, either they get a low amount and they're just like, you know, they kind of like out of it, or they get denied. So how did you go out and get yourself some funding?
Yeah. So let's take a step back, bro, because, you know, I really, you know, we on Motion Success. I want to make sure that we giving people the game. So, you know, if you watching this, I need you to forget everything you done heard, you know, prior to this episode, because it's a lot of gurus that have the same mentor, you know, and so a lot of the information online is, you know, regurgitated. So with me, you know, I've invested in so many mentorships, which has allowed me to move so fast. So I know what works and what doesn't work. And so my views on how to go about getting funding is like a little less traditional than what the gurus teach and stuff. So for me, I want to just take a step back on like how I was able to build my credit out. So after I cleaned my credit, you know, I did some of the non-traditional things. You know, a lot of people talk about the credit builders, the self, the kickoff, the rent reporters. But what a lot of people don't know is these lenders really want to see the primary account. So the credit builders are cool, but one of the hacks that I like to give out is you can go to a bank like DCU or Navy, or even Liberty Bank is a bank out here in New York, and you can go and get a secured loan or a signature loan, and you can get a couple of those, and those can be multiple primary accounts. But the main thing that I did that allowed me to get funding, and this is a major hack that a lot of people don't teach, a lot of people think your credit has to be so perfect. Your credit don't got to be perfect. I repaired my credit good enough to get a personal loan, and then I was depositing that personal loan into business accounts, and then I would just apply for a business credit card, and then they would give me the limit of whatever it is that I put in the in the account. So I was able to get a $72,000 business credit card with Chase when I had a 675 credit score. And
675?
and check this out. And I was able to get a $60,000 business credit card with Bank of America, which I know I ain't met nobody that got that high of a limit on the Bank of America business credit card. They're giving out like 10s and 20s at the max. So
that's definitely the non-traditional way. So basically, to slow everything down, so you would take the funds that you got approved for, go to a bank, deposit it into the bank, and start building a relationship and apply for their funding products.
Yep. So one of the things that I realized is like whether your credit is good or bad, you know, for whatever reason, our society in the U.S. is crazy, bro. It's like they won't give an 18-year-old $100,000 business loan, but they'll give you $100,000 in student loans, or they'll give you an auto loan. So you got banks that have, you know, like Navy, Lightstream, where you can go and get an auto loan and you can get those funds with a lower credit score. And even if it's just a 20K or a 30K, you got that money. You can either pay it right back and then apply again and get a larger amount and then go work that money around, or you can just do it right off the dribble. So that's kind of what I did. I got an auto loan, paid it back, tripled that, went and got that money again, and then was deposited into those accounts. And I was like, look, this what I got. You know, like, can y'all work with this? I mean, it's like, this at least 50K right here. Can y'all give me 50K? Like, so.
Damn. Okay, man. So that's definitely some high level advanced game that I think people definitely will be paying for sure. And appreciate you for sharing that on the pod, man.
Yeah, nah.
I ain't never really heard somebody break it down, you know, the way how you just did it just now.
A lot of people think that the credit has to be perfect, you know, to be able to get business funding, you know, when in reality, that's not necessarily the case. You know, the lenders, they really want to see that a person is making strides towards bettering those habits, you know, or bettering those mistakes that they made. But the report doesn't necessarily have to be squeaky clean, you know, for somebody like who was in the situation that I was in, or if you're watching this and you might be like, my Experian is good, but my TransUnion and Equifax is bad. Why would you wait until all three is good? You better go get you a bag now so you can change your life.
Right,
you know?
right.
Like,
so how long would a process like this take? You know, because most times, you know, sometimes it might be a month or two, or depending. How long does this usually take to be able to knock this kind of process out?
So y'all don't have some heavy hitters on here, bro. So big shout out to all the credit and funding gurus, but I don't think it's anybody. I'm saying it right here. I don't think it's anybody on Motion and Success that's helped more people get a 700 credit score than I have. Yo, check this out. This your boy Basil, man. I know the episode is getting real good, but if you're somebody that's watching this and you want to get funding for yourself to start, grow, or scale your dream business, or if you're someone that's watching this and said, damn, I want to start my own 6 or 7-figure funding company where I can earn a part-time income working full-time hours, then I'm having a completely free live masterclass. Yes, I said it, a completely free live masterclass where I'm going to show you how to boost your credit, get 50K in funding, and how to make an extra $5,000 to $10,000 per month by starting your own 6 and or 7-figure funding company. So the link to the free masterclass is going to be in the description below. Meet me there. Don't beat me there. That's heavy talk, bro.
Statement, bro.
That's heavy talk, bro.
I'm over here thinking.
Y'all done have some heavy hitters, bro, and I'm locked in with a lot of them. But a lot of the methods we got, and with the beauty of Chatgpt right now, bro, it's a lot of ways, bro. It get jiggy. Like, we get jiggy. So we got a community right now, you know, with over 500 people, and we got people getting 700 credit scores in 7 days, 3 days, 4 days, and it's all legal, the methods we use and stuff like that. But a lot of times what people don't realize is the credit bureaus want you to give up, you know, and so as long as you send out those dispute letters, you can use Chatgpt to make letters.
So what will be the prompt that somebody type into Chatgpt to get a negative item off their credit report deleted in 7 days?
So, you know, this is a hack I like to give out. One of the main things that I like to do is we know there's different types of laws and stuff as it relates to credit, standards that the credit bureaus have to play by. A lot of times the credit bureaus, they just, after you send out that first round dispute, they verify that the debt is valid, for example. So one of the things that we'll do is, one of the things that I got a cousin named Bob, or, you know, some people, you know, I've heard will do is you can, hey, do this at your own, you know what I'm saying? But you can do things like maybe go and grab a logo letterhead, you know, for the business that is holding the debt, and be like, yo, Chatgpt, can you create me a credit repair letter that is saying that it is not legal for them to report this debt onto my credit report. And then you can draft that letter up with that logo. Either if you want to say, you know, this debt has been satisfied, just because it's removed from your credit doesn't mean that you don't owe the debt. Or if you want to just say like, hey, Chatgpt, you can go on like, you can Google like consumer laws and stuff, and find a law that, you know, is either for collection or late payment. You could just say, Chatgpt, use this law to draft a letter and demand that the credit bureaus remove this, or they have to pay me, you know, for violating the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So
interesting.
It get jiggy. My brain is working over here, so I got some more. I got some more for y'all, but my brain is over here already turning.
So
that stuff.
That's crazy. No. I was gonna say that's crazy. You know, that you getting so many people 700 credit scores, because see, and a lot of times, especially like in our community, a lot of people, they don't realize the power of credit until they trying to get a car, they trying to get an apartment, they trying to get a house.
That's a fact.
And then they start running to guys like you, running to all the credit people. So to see that, you know, you getting people results that quick is crazy, bro.
Man, and the thing that I kind of did, you know, when I wasn't even in position credit wise, and I think kind of to segue into why running a funding company is probably the best business model there is out there, is like I was looking for a way to make a full-time income working part-time hours, because I didn't have a lot of time because I was working a 9 to 5. So obviously the goal is to get money. You know, we want to get a car, we want to be able to get a house, we want to be able to do those things, but why not start a 6-figure side hustle while you're working a job, you know, while you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. And just for practicality, you know, I mean, it's like you selling money. Like, it's not hard to sell money. Right. It's like the next closest thing is probably selling ice cream or something. You need money to buy ice cream. So
right. So essentially teaching people how to be able to help other people get funding for their business.
Yep. A lot of people want to, you know, we always want to be the business owner and be the one that I got my LLC and I did all this, but why not run up a bag being a middleman? You know, the wealthiest people, the largest companies in the U.S., they control everything, but they own nothing. Airbnb, Uber, Lyft, a lot of these companies, they don't own the cars, you know, and they allow people to make money. And by being the middleman, being the platform that's hosted, being the person that's bridging the gap between people who don't know where to go to apply for funding and the bank, you're able to make a percentage off of that.
Basically like the Amazon model. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Amazon. Okay.
Control everything, own nothing.
So when we was talking a little bit earlier now, so I know, you know, all right, so one of the problems that you said a lot of business owners have is they don't know how to market, right? And with you got a lot of different tricks up your sleeve. You got the Eventbrite method, you got the boosted post methods. Like, what's some of the strategies on how a person can now start a funding business and make money part-time, make 6 figures on a part-time basis? Like, how are they gonna start getting these clients now?
Yeah. So you want to go organic or you want to go paid first?
Let's start off with paid. You know,
we can go paid out the gate. So assuming you already have, you know, Wi-Fi, cell phone, laptop, obviously you can boost posts online. So what I like to, and I want to take a step back. So this is one of the game that I give out. First things first, you want to make sure your page is together. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't want to run ads to a page, and then when the people land on your page, it's a picture of you from prom in 2021 and a picture of you at the barbecue or something with your girl or something. So first things first, you want to make sure that your page is together. The way that I teach in my program is you want to have a post introducing yourself. You know, like, hey, my name is so-and-so. This is what we do. You want to have a lifestyle post, and then you want to have a testimonial post, and you want to have those 3 posts pinned. So your Instagram is your resume. So then we drive traffic to the Instagram with boosted posts. So you could just boost a post of you standing in front of a Lambo, boost a post of you on a jet ski, just any kind of lifestyle pic, because people are going to click on it to see the profile and be like, oh shit, like this dude do credit too. So you can boost posts. You can go in and set up an Instagram app, boost a post for $20 to $50 a day, and you can start making thousands of dollars. So you just want to make sure that you have your offer together and stuff. So that's one of the main ways. There's kind of 2 ways you can set up the ads. I want to make sure that I'm giving out the game on that for anybody that's watching this. So you want to boost the post because that's going to drive the traffic to your page. And then when you post organically, people are going to comment credit or whatever the call to action is on that. And then the second way is I like to do testimonial ads. So what you guys could do, for example, is like, I know you were talking about content earlier. You can do a green screen so you can screenshot a testimonial or whatever, and you could do a green screen post like, yo, this client just went crazy. You know, I'm going to offer the same deal to the next 3 people for $27. Comment with the word ready right now if you want the same deal before I change my mind. And then they're going to be ready. Yeah. And it's going to be one of those situations where you might start out with just doing $15 a day, and then you make 8 sales. You're like, oh yeah, it's time to turn this shit up. So that's really one of the easiest ways, and that's how I was able to scale my community up to over 500 members in less than 60 days. So wow. That's one of the paid ways. I want to get into some of the organic stuff too. And but first things first is like, people got to understand, you got to be willing to spend the bag on yourself. Yeah. You know, I think a lot of what I try to make sure I'm teaching and educating people on is like having the right mindset, because a lot of times people think, oh, I may not be able to afford to do this. It's like, no, you can't afford not to do this. You know, and so getting funding will allow you to do that. But for those people that are watching this, they're like, okay, I may not have money to spend on ads right this moment. We got some organic plays that I teach in my program, you know, that show people how to get leads for their business for free. So I'll give a couple. One of the main ones I'll give a couple. Yeah, I'm cooking now. So one of the main ones I like to use is instant data scraper. So this is Jim. I ain't seen nobody online talking about this. So if you hear this in your coaching program, then they got it for Motion and Success on this episode. So instant data scraper is a tool I like to use.
Is it like a Chrome extension?
It's a Chrome extension. It looks like a Pokeball. So what I like to do is, and you can have a VA that does this for you, or you can do it yourself. You can go on websites like Zillow. You can go on car websites, Car Gurus, different websites, you know, business forums, different things like that. And you can click that extension. It looks like a Pokeball, and it'll scrape all the names, emails, and phone numbers of anybody that's ever gone on that website.
So you talking about
anybody that's on that website, rather.
Are you talking about the people that's posting those?
So like, let's use Zillow for example. So let's say like Zillow, they got a bunch of houses, or let's say you go on a real estate brokerage website. Yeah. You can hit that extension and it'll scrape all the agents. It'll scrape anybody's info that's listed on that website that they've ever used, and it'll put it into an Excel doc. And then you can just reach out to those people like, yo,
that's crazy. That shit.
So that's one of the that's one of the organic ways. So obviously, you know, that's free. And Zillow, when you talk about Zillow, it's thousands of, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's thousands of contacts and stuff on there.
Right.
And that's one of the ways. And obviously, as you scale up, you want to get more output for your input, so you can hire somebody to do that, or you can run ads and just bring the traffic to you. But that's a good outbound way to go about doing it.
That almost sounds like you could literally, especially if you have a credit repair business. A person that got a credit repair business, you go ahead, you use that Chrome extension tool, you go on all these websites, scrape, build up your list, build up the agents, their numbers, their email, everything like that. Go ahead, reach out to them, whether you have somebody call them, email them, text them, and now that will be able to help you to make a lot of money on the credit repair side, plus the funding side too, because they're dealing with people that they're using their credit every day.
That's a fact. And I want to take it a step.
That's a beastie method.
And I want to take it a step further too, because I think the thing that I realize is like, there's so many people, gurus or whoever, that are like, they hate on credit repair. I don't know why people hate on credit repair. It's like, credit repair is like one of the best ways to make money. It's like recession proof. If you're not running a credit repair business, then and you just say you're doing funding, then I mean, you might really just be making more money off just coaching people or something. Because I mean, the money that's in credit repair is crazy. Because everybody's going to want money. Like I said, it's like selling ice cream, but everybody's not going to qualify. So you're able to make sure you're getting paid for your time, whether you're doing consultations or talking to people in DMs, where it's like, okay, you wanted funding, but you might not be in position right now. Okay, let's go ahead and downsell you into a credit repair package. And then whenever you're ready and in position, we can get you right. So I got another one. I got another one I want to give out, because we on Motion of Success. So we got it. I want to make sure people can get clients.
Going crazy.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people that watch this stuff and they're not able to. They get the game. They know what banks to go to. They might have bank reps. They might have the whole spiel down, but they're not getting clients. So we got to make sure that everybody watching this is getting clients that they have in motion. So another one of the plays that I like to use heavy is the Eventbrite play. So this is a play that I really only give to my inner circle. But you basically can everybody knows what Eventbrite is. They have concerts, different things. You basically can filter it to your city and state, you know, or surrounding city and states, or you could even do other states. You can either create a virtual listing and say like free funding or, you know, free lashes or whatever your business is. And you can set the event to virtual to where people can sign up, and then you basically you can have a couple hundred people and do a free webinar and pitch your stuff to them. And then I'll take it a step further, and then I'll take it a step further. Something else you can do is you could just search. I got an example for you. Let's say you want to help people with content. You're a photographer, a videographer, or you want to just have more people come on your podcast. You can Google business meetups, you know, Manhattan, or business meetups Soho, whatever. I don't know the cities in New York, and it'll give you like all the people that are having these events and stuff. And then you can just reach out to them like, yo, you know, do you want to come on a podcast, or you want to get more exposure for your brand, or do you want to get business funding, or whatever your offer is, you know, that's something. And you can reach out to those people one by one. And people that are having these meetups, let's say the business chapter or women in business meetup every Tuesday, they'll let you come pitch. And I've pitched at like real estate events that have like 300-400 people and gotten like hella funding clients from it. Like, and that's a free way to do it too. You don't even got to pay for that.
No, that's different, bro. I ain't never really hear somebody break it down or even say anything like that. I'm talking about break it down. I've never heard anybody say you know, the method that you teaching right here. Man, you not scared that somebody gonna run and
nah,
steal your
we not doing no gatekeeping. We not doing no gatekeeping, man.
Facts.
We not. It's so many people. You know, 3/4 of the world is on Facebook, bro. So, we not doing no gatekeeping. Everybody watching this can go and take this and implement it, and it's enough money out here for all of us. People gonna keep messing their credit up. It's over 4,000 banks in the U.S. and they looking for qualified people to give to, so we can all eat.
That's a fact, man.
We can all eat.
So you mentioned a little bit earlier, you know, because you don't just come up with these ideas, you know, off of nothing. I mean, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. As far as mentorship program, how much have you ever invested into like coaching programs and education, like all in all?
Man, so mentorship is super important. I think that I've moved faster than anybody that you guys would probably have met, I would argue, just because of how quick I am to spin a bag. And for anybody watching this, like, you got to spend money on yourself. And I remember times where I didn't have it and I let it go. And I was like, shit, we got to figure this shit out. Cause I got 15 days for this rent due. I just let my last $6K go to get some more information. So the mentorship is so important, because it's like, how can you go to a destination that, you know, you haven't been to? And so for me, I want to say, even just this year, I've spent, you know, $75,000 on my business. And now we're at a point where I don't necessarily always have to just use funding, but, you know, all in together, I'm sure I've spent at least almost 200 grand, 250 grand on like coaching, you know, podcasts, different, you know, ways to get exposure, things like that. And that's not even including what I spend on ads. Like, so that's how you move fast, though. That's how you got to move fast. You can't be afraid to, if you're watching this, you can't be afraid to spin a bag on yourself, because it's just a compound effect. Like I said, it's like sometimes you might be thinking something's not working, and you got to look at business in like layers. It's like, okay, I joined this mentorship and it didn't have shit in it, but I learned how to run ads. So now I know how to run ads and I know how to do this. It's like, okay, well, this mentorship showed me how to find VAs for my business or find workers for my business. So it's like, okay, that's a win. So, and you want to do your research and make sure you vet people and stuff like that. But, you know, when it comes to spinning a bag on yourself, it's like, it's always gonna come back. You know, it's always gonna come back for sure.
Yeah, because even when you mentioned, I think off camera, I was like, you know, when did you know, jump into the funding? And he was like 2013, and I'm like, we in 2025, like, so just to see how fast you moved to get where you at now is crazy. I did want to jump into, you know, you say you do something a little bit different, especially with your funding company. You said that y'all y'all give out loans as well.
Yeah. So I want to make sure that I'm you know, talking a little bit about what I want to do, but I just want to keep giving game out too. Yeah. So Let me just give y'all, because we were talking about, you know, the structure and stuff. Yeah. I want to talk about like what the structure is of you know, how to scale a funding company, because I don't hear people talk about that. And then I want to get into how we make our money and stuff like that, kind of as an extension of that. So I like to believe that, you know, the 4 pillars of any successful business, online business, are ads and content, setting, like appointment setting, so someone talking to your leads on the front end, your salesperson, and then what we talked about is fulfillment. So as long as you have the ads and the content, the sales, and the setting, then you're able to actually have that fulfillment. But the beautiful part about it is these are all just those 4 pillars that I'm talking about. That's just one person in each of those roles. So that's you creating the content for yourself, or if you have somebody doing it for you, that's you having a VA for $5 an hour that's in your DMs, working your DMs for all those leads coming in. That's somebody that's taking the calls for you, because that shit, you know how people waste time and stuff. And then somebody that's actually doing the fulfillment. And then not only that, to take it a step further, you can have somebody that manages all these people. So it's almost like you can be making passive income doing it and stuff. So kind of what our business looks like and what we do uniquely is like, there's a lot of people out there that say they do, you know, merchant cash advance or revenue-based lending. But a lot of times they're just offloading that to some of these third-party companies, you know, like Rock Financial and stuff like that. But we actually have our merchant cash advance, our revenue-based lending, called Next Gen Funding. So with Next Gen, what we do is not only do we have our own pool of money that we lend to businesses that have, you know, business owners with bad credit that have business revenue, we also can help those people get access to capital through our network of partners and stuff like that. So, you know, when we talk about the Eventbrites, you know, and getting the clients organically, a lot of the brick and mortar businesses, they the ones that's getting the bag. Like that, it might be a donut shop, you know, down the street from where you live, and they might be making $3 or $4 million a year. And you know, those types of businesses are like the perfect, you know, businesses. And the beautiful part about doing that revenue-based lending is like they usually get that funding within like 24 to 48 hours. So when you talk about like the funding companies that are really eating and really getting it out here, if you're not doing revenue-based lending, then I almost would argue that you're not really having motion and success. We on motion and success, but so we consistently, and this is me, you know, being completely honest, and I hope my team not watching this, but I probably honestly work maybe 5 to 10 hours a week, maybe 10 to 15 hours a week, and we consistently fund anywhere from like $1 to $3 million a month, and then we charge 10%. I have sales reps, different thing, because we know people talk revenue and profit, but having a 6-figure, even a 7-figure funding company like I have is like, it's like so practical. Like it's not even like a hard thing to do. When you think about getting somebody $100,000 and you charge 10% and you made 10,000, it's like, shit, I used to be striking on them personal loans at work in a break room, like at lunch, and like my manager be walking in like, what you over there cheesing about? I'm like,
don't worry about it.
I'm gonna be out of here soon.
Like, oh man. So like for you, like, I mean, having a team is probably one of the most important things that allows you to do, you know, only work 5 to 15 hours max a week. How you go about finding, you know, the right person to work under you? Because, you know, you've got a mission. You got to find people with integrity. You got to find people that's actually, you know, willing to do the work. How do you typically usually find people to work under you in your team? Yeah,
no, totally. So one of the ways that I get a game out in my inner circle is you got platforms like onlinejobs.ph. We all know about LinkedIn, but onlinejobs.ph is a place where you can find Filipino virtual assistants. And, you know, you can hire them for anywhere from like $5 to $9 an hour. You know what I'm saying? So you could find somebody for $5 an hour that, you know, can work 80 hours or 40 hours. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to work harder than hiring somebody in the U.S. Like, and obviously, you know, the beautiful thing about it is just, you know, the conversion rate of how far a dollar goes over there. You're blessing people. So, you know, that's the beautiful part about it. But using those platforms like onlinejobs.ph, you can scale and build up a multi-million-dollar operation, you know, for probably $2,000 or $3,000 a month. You can have a team of like 10 to 12 people.
Wow. So when you go on online jobs, is that like the only site that you would use?
So onlinejobs.ph is one of the main ones I use. Now we're at a point now where I have somebody that is sourcing talent and finding people on LinkedIn, but you can go on Chatgpt. This is a gem I like to give out and say stuff like, and this is for even if you have people that you want to hire or that are working for you, and you're like, damn, I'm paying them this money, but I feel like they need to be doing more. You can go on Chatgpt and give a prompt like, yo, what should my credit repair disputers job responsibilities be? What should my community managers job responsibilities be? And it can give you like a whole list of tasks that you might not even have known that you needed to have for fulfillment. So you're able to use that, and with finding those people, you can take that and post a job listing on LinkedIn or on onlinejobs.ph and say, I'm looking for a person with this. Man, you're gonna have to unsubscribe from the notifications, bro. It's gonna be a shit ton of people that's looking to work. And the craziest part about it, if you're somebody that's stuck in that phase of like wanting to scale and stuff like that, a lot of times they'll work for the first month before they even get paid or anything like that. So
that's how you would kind of separate the few from the rest of the people that's putting in their
definitely
their resume.
And some of them will just respond saying I'm ready for work, and some of them will have a actual nice resume, and a lot of them English be great. Like I said, they work hard. I have a lovely assistant that I just hired. She's my director of operations. Beautiful girl, bright. And it's kind of like, bro, what I realized is like a lot of these big ass businesses, the person that's calling the shots, they just find people that's smarter than them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you can find people for a fraction of the cost that are experts at the thing that you might not be that great at. Yeah. It's like you might be costing your business by doing sales. You might be costing your business by doing customer service. Because, when we a business owner, somebody sliding your DMs asking their price and they not serious, you might snap on them a little bit if you like overwhelmed and stuff like that. So having a team is super important because it allows you to scale, and it allows you as the one that's bringing home the broccoli to like focus on income producing activities for the business, because that's the most important thing. Like,
wow. So wait, you mind if I ask one more? So now, I mean, there's a lot of, I feel like there's always two sides to everything. So now, what's the bad side of having the Filipinos versus like United States workers?
Man, I'll be honest with you. For me, I haven't personally experienced the bad side. For what it's worth, I'm what do they say? Land of the free, home of the brave. The people that I hire in the U.S., from my experience, a lot of times they're a lot more entitled. They want a lot more money just because the economy, and things going on. But whenever it comes to hiring people from other countries and outsourcing that labor, you're like blessing people because our money goes a lot farther. And those are people that are hungry. Those are people that are going to be on time. Those are people that are going to be attentive and just grateful, for the opportunity. And so it's a win-win. It's crazy. It's like one of the misconceptions out there is like, like people that make a lot of money, or like people be like, money is the root of all evil. It's like honestly, the people that I've met, myself included, Dion, shout out to my mentor Dion, like are like some of the best people. You know what I'm saying? Some of the most giving people that want to put other people on, like, because you have to be able to employ people. You have to be able to put people in position, because that's the only way, you're going to make money.
Right.
Sure.
And you're going to be entrusted with those resources.
Got it.
And shout out to Dion as well.
Yeah, shout out to Dion.
Man. I did want to ask you about the relationship side of funding, because, like, I know, we had like ton of people that, do funding. Yeah. So a lot of times I see like relationships with bank managers and things like that is like a key part of the business. Like, how do you guys like what is like your model? Like, are you guys building the relationships with the banks, or are you guys like doing the sequencing, like the credit stacking and things like that?
Yeah. So I want to go into that. So at this level that I'm at now, and it sounds crazy to say, bro, because like I said, I come from nothing. But at this level I'm at now, I have a team that are constantly sending those messages out and getting those, bank reps and stuff, those banking relationship managers. So first off, for those, that are watching this that don't know, a banking relationship manager is basically somebody, or a business relationship manager is basically somebody that's working within the bank, usually a VP or a manager, someone who can process applications virtually, can educate you on the lending products. And then a lot of times when you apply through a business relationship manager, you're going to get a much higher limit than you would if you were to just do it online. And so, some of the ways that we go into getting those relationship managers, you can message on LinkedIn. Hey, I'm so-and-so, what is your quota, for applications you have to process? Because the banks, they get paid, those relationship managers, they make quota, they have quotas, they get paid commission, off of things like that. So with our business model, we have a series of bank reps that we use and stuff like that. The relationship with each one is different. For the most part, for some businesses, they don't pay their reps. For us, we make sure we look out for our people. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but we make sure that we look out for our people. And it's a simple process. Whenever we have somebody that meets the criteria, we usually just loop them in with our bank rep via email, and then they send a DocuSign, or they process the person's application with the questionnaire that we fill out and stuff like that. So, this business is a business that really doesn't require a lot of time, and that's the beautiful part about it. So, definitely, if you're watching this, you're somebody that's like, man, I'm looking for something that I can do to earn extra income, and you're not running a credit repair and funding company, then, it's the best business model by far. Wi-Fi money.
Yeah. So my guy Blaze usually Blaze. Word.
Come get some of this internet bread.
Man, you want to switch gears? Anything else?
I did.
I'm going crazy.
Yeah. I'm not gonna front, bro. You haven't been, you haven't been holding back, and like one of the few guests that we had on that haven't gate kept anything, and usually episodes like that go crazy, and you're not out here gatekeeping, you out here giving all the game. Like people definitely love that. I did want to get into, like, it's one thing to get people the funding, and then a lot of them don't know what to do with it. Some of them fumble the bag. Do you have like things that or some education you could give them in terms of what to invest in, what business industries work best? Like what do you see?
Yeah, so for me, kind of one of the things that I talked about earlier is, like, I don't understand how people are still broke in 2025, or like have bad credit in 2025. Like, it's as simple as fixing your credit, getting funding, and like the number one thing I would say is like find a mentor. So it all comes in steps. While you're fixing your credit, you should be building it out. While you're getting funding, or while you're doing all that, you should be setting up your LLC. Throughout that entire process, you should be looking, for a mentor, somebody that's, I don't want to say somebody that's driving a Lambo, but somebody that's living the type of lifestyle that you want to live. Somebody like myself, or whoever that's driving a Lambo, living the type of lifestyle that you want to live, because there's a very fine line, but at the same time, success leaves clues. We hear that all the time, and it's like if you don't look like 10,000, how you gonna tell me that you charging me 10,000? It's like, so finding a mentor, I would say, is like the number one thing. But at the end of the day, whether I was opening up a food truck, a coffee truck, a cleaning business, is like, if you have those traits and you got that mindset, like, you're going to succeed with whatever. And then with funding, it's like, there's not really a business model that you probably can't scale up to 1 million, 10 million, 20 million, by having funding and resources to put behind it. So what I really like to tell people is, like, to focus on what you really want to do. Because, what I learned from experience is, like, I really bumped my head, went through injuries, went through so many things with, like, pursuing football. And it's what I wanted to do, but I felt like it wasn't really my purpose and what God really wanted me to do. And that's why it didn't work out. So, if you have, whatever it is that you might be good at, if you can cook, if you are known to make people laugh, you can really lean into that purpose and, create digital products or start a coaching program centered around that with your funding. But I definitely would say, like, if you're interested in real estate, if you're interested in transportation, whatever those things are that you're interested in, do your due diligence, but definitely find a mentor, because when you jump off the porch by yourself, especially with all that funding, it's treacherous out here, especially with that real estate stuff.
So even before they go out and spend any of that bread that they get from funding, it's better to go out and invest in like getting a mentor?
1,000%. Come find me. I got you. Come find me. Come find me. I got you. So I think one of the big things that I really, enjoy about my program is, I really spend time. One of the things I like to do is like coffee and credit with Basil once a week. So we jump on. Sometimes I'll either do it on a Saturday or a Sunday, and we jump on and I'll just, check in with everybody, see how they doing. Like, what are y'all struggling with? You need help getting clients, okay, you're running this funding company, but what do you want? Let's get you funded. What do you want to do? What's your dream? So, I think for anybody that has aspirations of being an entrepreneur, I call them a wantrepreneur, but start a funding company, because you can be the middleman, see what other businesses are doing, and you can, connect and find people that are, making money that way and stuff like that, instead of just taking that funding and already being dead set on getting the Airbnb or already being dead set on getting to whatever business it might be. So the funding company is I'll always be a big proponent of that, because there's a lot of people watching this like me, that was working a 9 to 5 at a point in time. And I'm not going to tell people to just jump off the porch and go spend that funding and you don't know what you're doing. Like, you got to find somebody that know what they're doing that can teach you, the pathway to be successful.
Yeah. So now, question. So you just brought up the 9 to 5, and it kind of reminded me, you said you've been doing this for about a year and some change now. First million you did, first year you did $1 million. Second year you copped the land, you got the penthouse, you got everything going right now.
Q1 of year 2, by the way.
Q1 is moving fast, bro. So what was, because things didn't start off like this. Like,
man,
how did you transition like out of the job? Like, were you like at a frustrated point? Did you leave and you ain't have no money saved up? Like, how was you able to like comfortably, or might not even be comfortably, leave the job?
Yeah, so I think it's gonna come down to the mindset. It's I've heard this online before. It's like wealth really is a spiritual principle. It's like it's like one of those things where it's like, if you have that desire to be rich, obviously, to provide for your family, to do the right things, then you're somebody that's like, you're made for that. That's like a calling that you feel inside of you that you need to lean into. And so a lot of times you'll know if the time is right. What I recommend for people usually is get funded before you leave. Don't jump ship without having some kind of financial backing, because we all human, bro. We starting these businesses, we doing what we got to do, but if it gets spooky, you could throw that rent on a credit card. I done had to do that at times before. Like I said, I went back to my 9 to 5, and I would say the major difference for me this second go around, because I'd left my 9 to 5 and it didn't work out, was I had funding. I was able to really put money into my business, because everything that you try is not always going to work. So when you got funding, it's like, okay, I could try to run these ads, but when you're using your cash, that might be all the cash you have. But if you got funding, it's like, okay, that didn't work, but I put a little over here and this worked. Now let me double down on that, and then I can pay that down, and then I can, twerk that. So, I definitely would say don't rush into leaving your 9 to 5. If you're watching this, it's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5, bro. It's like the way that part of the way that I was able to scale so fast is like, my 9 to 5 was my first employee. You know what I'm saying? My 9 to 5 was my first investor. So I was able to put that money into, growing the business and really reinvest my funds back into the business so that I could scale. So don't let these gurus tell y'all, man, to leave y'all 9 to 5, man. It's it's not lame to work a 9 to 5. It's lame being broke and not having no motion. So, if you got to do what you got to do, like I said, it's like, if I got to scrub a toilet, if I got to work at McDonald's, whatever I got to do to win bread, to earn income, I'm going to win the bread. It's what you got to do. Like,
yeah. It kind of remind me. I think I definitely heard Money Man say that kind of before. It's not lame to work, it's lame to kind of just
man, I'm
broke,
telling you,
know what I mean?
Man, and stuff is getting more expensive, So I definitely would say, like, if you watching this, starting a funding company is just an absolute no brainer, because like I said, it's like you can literally change your life overnight. I really feel like I'm living proof of that, and I don't think that it's gonna change anytime soon. They continuing to print it, so it's out there. And businesses are going to continue to need it. And it's like, when you just think about the concept of business, is like, what other better way to make money is like than to be involved in the passing of money back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you're directly dealing with money all day, every day. So,
So I gotta ask you too, because you know a lot of people they love the numbers and everything. So you know, from your time, you know, having a funding company, like what was like your biggest month that you know?
So my biggest month, so now that we're offering coaching, our split is a little bit different. My biggest month was March of this year. We did $285,000 in revenue. So. And we talking about something that doesn't require, you know, a lot of my time. So, and I got staff, I got payroll, different things like that. But my payroll, you know, for those pocket watching, my payroll is like $12K a month. And I think I spent another 30 on ads. So, I mean, I walked away with a little something. And that's the thing with business too. A lot of times is like, you know, getting in a position to be consistent prior to having funding, and that's why having the funding is so important. Is like I might have a crazy month, and then I might have a month where it's like, shit, I might have to get a job next month or just shit like this again. So having the funding, you can consistently start to predict, you know, kind of what the business is gonna do, where you at, and stuff like that. So.
Right. Okay. So I mean, you know, since getting some money, I kind of want to switch it up. Like, with some of the hobbies you done picked up, you know. Some of the things that you usually like to do, off, you know, on your free time.
I probably hit Nobu like once a week.
Nobu.
Yeah, I hit Nobu like once a week. I be buying my girl stuff, like little purses and stuff like that. But I've been locked in though, bro. It's like for me, it's like, you know, I'm still able to make that league type money without having to be in a league and tear my body up. But you know, I copped a land. I moved into a penthouse, but I don't really go nowhere, bro. Like you know, I'm like. That motherfucker just sit parked. Yeah, I'll like during the day. Nah. Let me not cap. During the day, I'll go down and just like open the door and go look at it, and then go back up and stuff and get back to work and stuff like that. Because it's like I've been wanting it for forever, bro.
Yeah.
But
getting too much Wi-Fi money, bro.
Man, internet bread. So, but now it's at a point where it's like I'm starting to invest in my wardrobe and stuff a little bit, but. You know, it's like I really am kind of locked in, bro, and I got to get mom straight. I got to get grandma straight, and I feel like. Once I do that, then I think I'll have a little bit more peace of mind. Because right now it's kind of like, you know, I'm lit, but I really want to really be able to put them in position the way that I need to. Because that's what it's about. You know, that's definitely what it's about.
And you got something?
Yeah, I was going to say too, because, you know, being that, you know, you got that knowledge of getting, you know, funding, do you ever like have family members come to you like, yo, I got a business, yo, or like, I want to open a salon, a boutique, you know, now that you kind of got that knowledge of getting people funding, a lot of people could look at you like, yo, hey, you know, he gonna give me some funding to open a barbershop, boutique, or something.
Yeah, no, it's dope for sure, man. And I've you know, that kind of makes me think of two scenarios. I have a guy actually not far from here that was a family friend. I helped him get like $1 million in funding. It was a mix of like SBA and like some revenue based stuff, but he does like the group home stuff, like taking care of like people that are like disabled and stuff like that. So I actually was able to help him get more funds to scale that up some more. We got him $1 million in funding. That's like the most I've ever gotten somebody in funding. And I was able to actually help my mom and my grandma start their own like group home business back in Texas as well. So, you know, now I'm trying to get them to understand you need to spend money though, because now the money coming in, once the money start coming in, people, they want to like sit on it and not really. It's like I'm not making enough to hire people. It's like, no, you need to hire people because you stressed out. Like you need to hire people. It's like, and that's one of the epiphanies that I had. It's like, bro, when you hire your first person to do something that you really hate doing, bro, your business will probably double that next month, triple that next month, bro. Like,
okay, outside of like mentee, you know, wins and you know, people come through your program, what's like one of them stories that you probably would never forget at this moment?
Man, you know, honestly, it's I'm living a dream life because it seemed like I get them all the time. You know, I've had scenarios. One of the more recent ones that's popping up now that I can think about it. I'll give two, but man, I was actually eating with my mom and grandma one day, and this dude came up to me and was like, "Yo, you Billionaire Bays? Like the credit dude?" I was like, "Yeah, bro, what's up?" He was like, "Bro, I gotta thank you, bro. You helped me get this repo off my credit, bro. My girl is pregnant, bro. I've been needing a car to like take her to and from doctor's appointments, and I was able to run the light stream play that you dropped in the group and get a car. And he had got some kind of like Volkswagen or something like that. But that was like one of one of the dope stories, you know, for sure, as far as like from a service perspective. But as far as mentorship goes, I actually got a homie that I'm gonna link in New York. He basically used everything that I taught as far as how to scale a community. And he did the exact same thing as me, scaled his credit repair community to over 300 people in like a couple months. So he's making like 30 grand a month from his community, and he just bought his mom a car and stuff. So, and it went viral on Neighborhood Talk and stuff like that. And it's cool to just get those text messages, you know, throughout my months and stuff, like people having that epiphany of like, damn, bro, like this shit, like I'm doing this shit. Yeah, this shit is real. Like, because, you know, a lot of people, bro, we don't learn about this stuff, you know, so it's a beautiful thing, bro. Social media, bro, it doesn't change the game for a lot of us, for sure.
Yeah, it is. I do one last thing I did want to jump into is what you just mentioned was the community side, like that. You know, I'm not too sure, but
pick my brain, brother. You got
off camera. Off camera. You had showed us. You know, you pulled up your community, making over like 40 grand a month. Like, what's the play behind the community, like, and like, how do you manage, because you say you only work 5 to 15 hours a week, so how do you have this many people in the community and, you know, and are still able to like fulfill, you know, because a lot of people, they come in, they want to get funding, some people want to get funding, some people want to start their funding company, so even if they're paying $99 a month, they're gonna be on your back,
man.
Like, so.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, that's the crazy part about business is like, you know, we just really try to set expectations, you know, for people, and like when our business hours are, you know, that they should expect to get a response and stuff like that. You know, with credit repair, you know, people would be
24/7.
sign up in the morning, and then that same day be like, can I get an update? But you know, really, I would say just start with getting people in there. You try to be as present as you can, and the more people that you get, the more you can start to pull yourself out of there. But each time you're ready to add a different layer, whether it's somebody else doing the calls or somebody else talking to the people, you know, there might be a little dip of you having to give up some of the money that you're actually making, but it's worth it. So for me, you know, really with anybody, it's like you can start a community, and as long as you got one person, like a CSM is what I call it, like a client success manager, like a community manager, that person can be responsible for onboarding people, for answering any questions they have, and doing calls. So you can scale a community with just one person and boost it post, you know, like I said. So we have a $500,000 business, or make $500,000 just from the community alone. And that changed the game for me as far as like having a low ticket and now being in a position where it's like, no matter what I do, like if I want to take next month off and go to the Bahamas,
still gonna come through.
Man, it's a 50 to 60 ball hitting my account. Like, man, bro. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, but no, I got y'all for sure. You know, like I said, just holler at me. I definitely can give y'all some more game and stuff on it like that. But super simple process. Like I said, green screen testimonial ad with the conversion is message me. You know, people message me, and then the ManyChat automation just you know, get them through. So let's see if my stuff been doing it today, but I be getting notifications that people signing up and stuff. It be pinging me like all day, every day. Oh, it ain't doing it right now, but yeah, but we been getting notifications like
it's crazy
all day, every day, pinging us and stuff.
It's definitely a good, you know, I'm glad you figured the thing out when it comes to business. It seems like you definitely got everything down pat for sure, bro.
Yeah.
Outside of, you know, everything that you got going on, anything you looking forward to?
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna do a virtual event here coming up, but really the main thing is like I'm just kind of focused on giving back. So, you know, for everybody watching this, you know, because we on Motion Success, you know, I done seen some heavy hitters come through and get a game out. I'm gonna do a free ebook, you know, a free Scale to Success ebook. It's basically the blueprint on how I scaled my funding company by hiring people, you know, how to find clients, different things like that. I want to get out to everybody watching this for free. And then I'll do some other ebooks. I'll probably do a student loan ebook because it's, you know, a lot of people with those student loans just hit their credit. And I'll do another ebook bundle. That ebook usually runs like $600, you know, all together is what I usually sell that for. So I'm gonna get out. You know, for everybody watching this episode watching this episode for free. And then I'm gonna do a free masterclass. So, you know, if you're watching this, you know, we'll put the link wherever in the description or whatever, and do a free class. You know, show people how to boost their credit, get funding, start a funding company. You know,
I'm pretty sure people gonna run away with the free game you gave here, cause so I could imagine what they getting in the masterclass, bro. So
absolutely,
it's crazy. It's crazy. So with all this money and, you know, the success, you know, you're having, like, ultimately, like, what would be, like, you know, one of your top goals, like, you know, in the next 5 years, 10 years?
Next 5-10 years. So, you know, I got a couple, you know, to keep it a stack with you. Billionaire Bays, you know what I'm saying? That's my Instagram name. So, you know, I want that B. Yeah. I don't know if it's necessary. Now that I'm starting to understand how money works more, you know, being present for my family and stuff like that is definitely what's important to me. But I want to be liquid, bro. Like, I want to be able to, I would have to really fuck some stuff up for us to not make 3 or 4 million this year. But, like, revenue, profit, you know, is like two totally different things. So for me, I want to continue to grow the coaching program, you know, for anybody that's watching this, you know, I want to continue to impact more people, and I want to create some millionaires, you know, help create some millionaires. And, you know, I would say, like, scaling up to like 2 million a month, 20 million a year, something like that is kind of like where I see myself for sure. So
Did you ever have, like, any, like, NFL homies who, you know, after they got out the league, you know, they were struggling and they came and tapped in with you?
Man, I do actually. I got a homie that I actually I've been helping him get funding because he got into, like, new construction and stuff. So I helped him get some funding. He actually lives in Dallas as well, but he was originally using his money, and, you know, black people be skeptical, bro. He was like, I was like, bro, you gotta tap in. And he like, man, you just trying to get me to pay. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna get you right. Like, when you pay attention. So he ended up finally just locking in. I got him some funding, and now his new construction business, you know, then kind of took off, and he was feeling like purposeless after kind of the NFL thing. But it's funny, I got another homie that just hit me. He was like, nigga, how you got more followers than me and I'm in the NFL? Like, bro, I don't even got that many, bro.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. And then now, you know, like, because you young and you know, you turned up at, you know, at the things that you do right now. When it comes to, like, brotherhood and you know, social wise, like, how's the circle looking for you?
Man, it's dope. Like I said, I got a couple people that I chat with every day and stuff. I definitely need to get connected with more, you know, young people like y'all, bro. Dallas is interesting, bro. It's like they just opened up a Richard Mille out there, a Dior Cafe. They got a lot of stuff. So it's like, I know it's money out there. I know it's people, but, you know, I haven't really ran into people and stuff. So I've been thinking about moving to Miami. I've heard good things about Atlanta, but I don't know if I want to move to Atlanta. But I definitely have been trying to connect with more like-minded people, bro. But people got egos nowadays, bro. It's like, you try to connect with people, bro, and they think they want you to tap in with them. I'm like, bro, I'm not paying to be your friend, bro. I will when I have to, when I need to, but I don't need no friends like that if I gotta pay to be somebody's friend.
That's a fact.
Like, I like to catch organic and stuff like that. So definitely need to continue to build my circle in that way, especially just because the way things have, like, changed for me so much now. It's like, you got to continue to elevate and become a different person. It sounds so cliche, but I had to really become a different person for this money, bro. Like, I really did. And not in a bad way. It's just like, I just can't even, like, I don't even think the same way as I did, bro. Like, it's crazy.
That's wild. That's really how it is. You know, once your mind expands, it's like nothing's gonna be the same.
Yeah.
How's your routine though? Like, you know, with the whole Ashton Hall thing, like how's your routine? Like, you waking up super early, or like, bro, what's your routine?
People be in the comments calling him sassy and stuff. So I'll be honest, bro. I'm not. And I used to play football, bro, but I'm not one of the ice tub, you know, overly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm kind of really in one of those seasons of life right now, bro, where I'm. And it sounds crazy to say, like sleeping in. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll wake up at 8 or 9, you know, and I'll stay up late, you know, working my phone and stuff like that. But I can work my phone and make money from my phone. So I'll lay in bed and just work my phone for a couple hours, get up, and usually have 2 Eggo waffles and a Sprite. and then I got a daily, like, touch base with my assistant. And I just tell her, I need you to do this, and that. And I'll go do it. And then I pretty much just chill, bro, and then I'll go Go hop in a Lambo, bend a couple corners, go get a snow cone or something, and then check on the money and stuff, and you know what I'm saying. Wait till my girl get off, and then we kick it or something.
Be surprised. That's really the goal, like something like that. Like, and I like how you was kind of like honest with it. Like, y'all wake up 9 a.m. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel like everybody just be like, yo, I wake up 7, I hit the gym,
I jog.
Yeah,
I read the Bible first 10 minutes of the day. I read the book after, go straight to the gym, do a cold plunge, do this, do that. Then I get started. Next thing you know, I'm locked in from 8 to 8.
Man, I'm telling you, I be trying to be locked in like that, bro. But it's just like the more money you make, bro, it almost is like a guilt that'll come over you. Like, damn, like should I be working harder, bro?
Yeah.
Like, and it's weird. It's kind of like it's not hard to make a lot of money, bro. It sounds crazy to say, bro, but it's like the compound effect, bro. You posting consistently, you doing what you got to do. It's like, bro, y'all. Hopefully it's this episode, but y'all might have an episode from, I don't know, one of y'all first episodes that might go like mega viral out of nowhere, and it's like damn, this episode wasn't even the episode that I felt like. Yeah. And that's what happened to me with like the content or even like the ads and stuff. Is like, damn, like this episode, I mean, this ad was just, I was just fucking around. This shit is a one. Like so it's like it's a lot easier to make money than people think it is, bro. And so that's why I just feel super blessed. I feel this calling to coach people and show people, like, because once you get it, you get it. You know what I'm saying? And the main thing is just like making a decision. Like I want to make a lot of money. Like, it sounds like of course everybody want to make a lot of money, but it's like, nah, you gotta make a decision. Like, I'm not hammering nails. I'm not packing boxes. I'm not changing tires. Like, it's money out here, and we both got to go to the gas station. But I want to pull up in our double R. And somebody got to pull up in a Honda, and it ain't gonna be me. Yeah. So, and it'll happen. It'll happen for you.
Yes, sir.
This one was a lot of game, bro.
This was definitely a lot of game. Very inspiring for sure, man.
It wasn't like I say it wasn't like most of the funding conversations we have on this platform. Like it was a lot of game. It was a lot of like mindset, shifting and things like that. So I'm pretty sure people gonna learn a lot, bro.
Yeah, hopefully for sure, man. Yeah, it definitely, I appreciate y'all having me for sure. Yeah, definitely
for sure,
connect, bro. Y'all definitely got a good thing going, bro. I gotta ask y'all, you know what I'm saying? Where do y'all want to be in the next, 5 years, let's say?
Honestly, it's kind of always like imagination until it's reality, bro. Yeah. But for real, with the podcast and lifestyle, money wise, I definitely want us to be able to be like a constant net. What I mean?
So y'all doing some streaming too, or you just mean as far as like popularity?
Popularity and also getting paid wise. You know what I mean? Because generally, bro, I enjoy having conversations with people.
Yeah, for sure.
To be able to get noticed and get picked up by different platforms and different companies to be able to sponsor us, I feel like that would be like a huge goal, as far as the podcast and the platform. For me personally, as far as lifestyle, I definitely want to move to Miami at first.
Yeah.
I wanted that Atlanta vibes, but I'm like,
Miami is dangerous, bro.
Dangerous in a good way or a bad way?
I mean, if you're single, it's dangerous in a
dangerous.
Good way.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Definitely dangerous.
Yeah.
Definitely dangerous, bro.
It's an energy out there, though, bro. It's an energy out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like it's the right, if you get with the right circle out there, because I do see some people out there, they just up gym, they work out, discipline,
sober, getting money, like it's for sure. Like, what about you?
So honestly, like, definitely growing the pod. Like, a lot of people, they hit us up, especially after watching episodes like this or anyone, and they like, yo, listen, like, they ran the play that was in the episode, and they like, yo, like, they ran it up with it. So I'm like, we over here impacting lives, we bringing on the right people. So definitely growing it out, expanding, building a whole team. I see us taking it and kind of being like a big media company with it. You know?
No, that's hard.
Having like other people under, different shows, and it's just further expanding it out.
Have y'all thought about, like, I mean, I'm sure y'all have, but like the like kind of building it and selling it, kind of like Wallow and Gilly did, or like a lot of people exit, like.
That is true. But I heard it's like so much other things that go into that.
Oh, no,
contracts. They like, yo,
1,000%.
You end up selling. Now you working for somebody.
Yeah, now you working a job. Like they might give you 30 or 40 M's each liquid. But now it's like, okay, for this next 8 years,
you can't
y'all
do
niggas
podcasts.
doing 4 podcasts a week. Like,
you can't do what you want.
Yeah,
bro. But essentially, I think that's the goal, you know, and the path that we done came from so far, bro. It's like you said, like dudes, like they got the ego, you know. So for me personally, I just want to continue to drop, you know, make sure there's no ego, and we came a great way, you know. So
no, definitely, it definitely is gonna happen, bro. I'm in agreement with y'all, and y'all just in such a great position as far as like being able to connect with different people and stuff like that, and shoot, get that funding, bro. Have that funding ready, so whenever whatever opportunity come up, they gotta come up.
Take advantage.
Yeah, but honestly, it's like a lot of times it really do seem like, you know, you can spin your way to success. It's crazy. Like eyeballs. People be saying it, you know. I think Wallow said it, God in marketing, but yeah, it's like money follows attention. You get eyeballs, you can have all the money in the world.
Yeah. You also have a little fun as well.
No, the fun is a part of it. If you're trying to get money and not have fun, if you're trying to get money and not have fun, then
something wrong.
Yeah, nah. If you trying to get money and not have fun, then you out of there.
Yeah. Okay. Outside, I did have one last question, bro. Outside of, you know, like with the lamb, like what opportunities has it brought you so far?
Man, bro. Well, first things first. I mean, every time I go outside or every time I leave the house or go in the store or something, it's a phone number on the sheet of paper or something on my dash, bro. Like number one. Like I don't know if that's just a Dallas thing or if it's like that for everybody everywhere, but that's the main thing. I would say it hasn't really brought me a ton of like networking opportunities. I haven't joined the Lambo Club and some of those things, but you know, after I got that lamb, like I immediately raised my prices. So now I'm charging like $25,000 for coaching, and so and people paying that shit too. People that even got more money than me, got bigger businesses than me, they just like they paying it. It's like it's just a respect thing. It's like, and it's so crazy, bro. Like, you know, I mean, money is an energy, bro. It's like when you spend it, it just comes back. Like it just seems to come back, you know, whether it's right away, directly, or bit by bit. But like, man, I made that down payment back probably within the first couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the part too of why I say wealth is such a spiritual principle and why you gotta have faith, because it probably wasn't time to grab that lamb. Like I mean, you know, most people be like, oh, you made an M. That ain't enough to be like trying to buy a Lamborghini, but shit, I wanted it. And you know what I'm saying? It's going to end for y'all, bro. Like, if I could give y'all any advice, you know, like, y'all so young, bro. Like, y'all can take so much risk, bro. Like I don't know if y'all have kids or kind of anything like that, but it's like not being married and not having to like be tied down, bro. It's like y'all can like, you can move to Miami, you know what I'm saying, in a month or whenever, you know what I'm saying, and thug it out in a 1-bedroom apartment and just, you know what I'm saying, whatever you got to do to make it, because a lot of times that's what it be. Like, that's how it be happening and stuff like that. So
that's a fact.
Y'all want to get lambs or what y'all want to get?
Honestly, bro, yes. I would cop a lamb. He said no.
What? You a real car enthusiast.
A Pagani? I've never heard of a Pagani, bro.
That
sound like a Pontiac. Like a GT. Nah. That's a real car. That's a car.
Yeah, that's like some car. You gotta have your first car. The reason why I got the Urus is because underneath it's an Audi, so it's like the maintenance on it is like not. I mean, it's still expensive, but it's like I can drive it every day. It's not like if you would have get like something low to the ground, or I don't know how the roads is out here, but if I would have got a Aventador or a Huracan or something, and it'd be hitting potholes, or a Rolls Royce and it's falling apart, you know what I'm saying? It's like Urus is probably one of the like most affordable like foreigns you can get, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Do you ever like throw the lamb in like ads and stuff? Because a lot of people too, like I was watching a YouTube video and dude from Miami was like, yo, I just bought this car just for marketing, like, and he just throw it in ads. And
honestly, bro, what I peep, bro, about coaching and really just about being a business owner, and it depends on who your clientele base is, but lifestyle, where a lot of people get lifestyle confused is they think lifestyle means like I'm gonna like overly force myself to show a lifestyle to where it's like I'm breaking myself. But a lot of times it really is more so about like, shit, this is just my lifestyle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like I'm, you know what I'm saying? I went to go get some sunflower seeds in the lamb, you know what I'm saying, on a Tuesday in the middle of the day while somebody at work and just putting that on your story. It's like, damn, this nigga don't work. Like people see that type of stuff. So, I mean, that's really kind of the main thing, like just the lifestyle piece is like, it just allows you to like just, like, it's like, this is my everyday. Like, it definitely help. It definitely helps. Like, I use it I've tried to use it in the ads, bro, but for me, the professional ads don't really work all that well for me. Like the camera cut ads, it's like if I just do an ad of me just talking on an iPhone or a green screen testimonial, bro, them shits be going federal. Simple. Like, cause it's like when people see the camera and it's like, whenever the ad's like, hey, stop, they're like,
scroll right past it.
Scroll right past this shit. Like, oh, that's an ad. That's an ad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, yo, this is hella game, y'all.
Absolutely, bro.
And we definitely gonna drop the link in the description for the ebook, as well as the masterclass. Yeah, I definitely need to tap in though. There's a lot of game giving. Appreciate you for pulling up, bro.
Yes, sir. Much love.
And not holding back too. I see a lot of gatekeeping sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Let it go.
Yeah.
So this was a good one, and I'm pretty sure people gonna learn a lot.
I agree, bro. Cannot disagree at all. What's your Instagram? How can the people tap in?
Yeah, so on Instagram, my Instagram is Billionaire Baze. That's Billionaire BAZE _. You can search that on YouTube. I got a lot of podcasts, resources out there and stuff. I do vlogs where I give out game about credit and funding as well. And then Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all the same, Billionaire Baze. So yeah, Billionaire Baze _ Tap in.
Got it. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Yeah.